Hi, I'm Denise Hurley. Welcome to Harmonies. Harmonies is, I think it's a great show, showcasing folks who are artists, musicians in the area, maybe some regional people. So we get to talk about your background and to talk about music in general. So today my guest is Sedie Maruski. And did I say that right?
Maruska.
Maruska. Sorry. Close.
Yeah, no worries.
And Sadie is from Lancaster. And Sadie and I met a couple of years ago at a George Floyd rally in town. And she sang. And from then on, I just love what she's doing. She's into all kinds of different things. So I want to welcome you to Harmony, Sadie.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about your musical background. Can you tell the audience what you do, what you like?
Musical background. Oh, I've been doing music or singing rather forever. It seems like, but it's of course started in church and singing alone, singing with a group, singing in the choir, just always singing. And I thought at one point in time that I was going to be a professional singer.
Okay.
But the music industry is not, I don't know, I'd say it's not benevolent. And it was kind of hard for my immigrant parents to kind of navigate that whole thing. Okay. And so for me, it was just kind of like, okay, I either had to do it on my own or find someone to help me do it. And life just got sidetracked. So I didn't really go along that line. Mm-hmm. However, that doesn't mean that I don't sing. I sing all the time. I used to sing a lot more when I was younger. Now I sing occasionally. I sing a lot with the radio, sing a lot with my kids. Yep. And just really enjoy. I love lyrics. Okay. And I love what music can do for your mood. Sure. Right? It's always a mood changer or a mood enhancer or a mood, it's I love what it does with your mood. Yes. So I, just as you saw me, I spoke at the rally. Mm-hmm. And then to kind of put an emphasis or kind of like an exclamation point to what I was saying, I sang. Right. And I think that sometimes it works well that way. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm often, I don't think that it does all the time. But at that point, I thought it was really important. Because I think I told you at the beginning, I said I might sing, I might not sing. Yes, that's right. You did tell me that. Yeah. I said, maybe I'll do a song. I don't know. I'll see. And then it's just kind of like what I feel comes through. I am the lay pastor over at the Lancaster Unitarian Church. Mm-hmm. And so I don't always sing, but last year I did a whole singing service. So I sang several popular songs that I felt weaved into my story, a story that I wanted to tell. Okay. And that went really well. So music is I watch my kids now. They love music. They're into so many different styles of music. Like I'm finding songs through my kids. Okay. Right? Because I used to listen to radio just like they do. I don't as much anymore. And of course now we have MP3 players. We have streaming music. We don't have to listen to the radio. We just have streaming music. Yep. So sometimes you get stuck in what you know. Mm-hmm. But they explore more. And so I find music through them. Nice. All types of genres. Yep. I love all genre of music. As long as it speaks to me. And like I said, it the emotion. Mm-hmm. It sometimes I'll hear it one time like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And sometimes I have to hear it a couple of times go, that song has kind of grown on me. Mm-hmm. I think I kind of like that song. Yeah. So,
do your kids have any kind of musical background or ideas that they might want to do?
Yes. So both my children are into musical theater.
Oh.
So they're both part of the theater programs in their schools. They're both in the musicals in their schools. They both sing. My daughter is teaching herself how to play the piano, and she's also learning she's in the band at school for trumpet.
Right.
My son did trombone when he was in elementary and middle school. He decided not to do that in high school, but he also is teaching himself piano, and he's picked up the guitar. So they are definitely into and working on their music. My son was thinking of composing music for a film that he was making because he wants to be a filmmaker.
Okay.
And so he was composing. He was like, I'm gonna make a song for my film. Yep. I was like, that's great. Go for it. I don't know the first thing about doing that, but so he knew what the emotions were that he wanted to emote, the type of sound he wanted, and so he was playing with that. And so I say go for it.
Yes. So Neshoba, right?
Yes.
They have a couple of musicals coming up, or there's one coming up?
So the high school has a musical and the middle school has a musical. And so next week is Tech Week for the high school because their performance is next weekend.
Okay.
And then the following week is Tech Week for the middle school, which is where my daughter is, and they have their performance the following week. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm embroiled in Tech Week madness.
Now, do you help with them with their performances?
I help if I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes, a lot of the times they don't feel that they need any help. They go, they do their rehearsals, and then they come home and they're like, Mom, we did this, we did that. My son is actually learning to tap dance for the show that they're doing next week. And so he comes home and is like, my legs hurt. But he's having a great time doing that. So they're really good at just putting themselves into what it is that they're doing because they love doing that.
Lovely.
And so we've got 2 shows coming up in the next 2 weeks, and yeah.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise. For it was grace that bought my liberty. I do not know just how he came to love me so. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. I shall forever lift my eyes to Calvary, to view the cross where Jesus died for me. how marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. He looked beyond all my faults and saw my need. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise, for it was grace that bought my liberty. I do not know just how he came to love me so. He looked beyond all my faults and saw my needs. I shall forever lift my eyes to Calvary, to view the cross where Jesus died for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. He looked beyond all my faults and saw my need.
Great. So kind of back to you with your music. Do you have any thoughts about pursuing a musical career? Or, I mean, you have a very lovely voice.
Thank you.
And I could see you doing a lot of different things with your singing. I mean, so.
You know, I've thought about actually, doing open mics, right? Going to an open mic and just singing and just enjoying that. Or I've thought about recording maybe one song, right? Or having someone write a song for me, because I'm not a songwriter. I love lyrics, I love music, but I don't consider myself a songwriter. I love to hear other people's poetry and kind of bring that to life, which is a little bit of what Whitney Houston did, right? She wasn't a songwriter. Yeah. She was a singer, and she sang. And so she brought people's music to life. Okay. And so I kind of see myself in that way, because I'm not really a music. I don't write music. I don't write songs. But when they come together in a beautiful way, I love them. And when I can also tweak them or to my style, then I like to do that too. And so what does my future in music look like? I don't know. I think a lot of fun and not stress.
That's true.
So if I can get out there and I can enjoy just doing open mics or, singing at church or singing with my kids, or that to me is, it keeps it going. It keeps my voice going.
And, we're practicing going out there. Because there's tons of open mics in the area. I know that. I would love for you to come to our open mic. I think you would definitely enjoy yourself there. Yeah. Now you mentioned your parents were immigrants, and they had so it was difficult for them to get you involved in music when you were younger?
Not to get me involved in music, but when you just come to this country, navigating the music scene or the music industry, that's a whole other animal. And you're tend to be, I know my dad was pursuing his education and wanting, to make sure that we had a foundation for our education, and of course working and, sustaining a family and all those things. And so, and coming to this country and not knowing the language. So you're learning a new language, you're learning a new way of living, you're trying to make your way. Yeah. Definitely throwing in, a music industry or anything like that is kind of a wrench. It's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah. And for me, I understood that. I kind of understood where they were coming from. I understood that it would be hard for them to kind of navigate that. Sure. And I felt like it was hard for me to navigate it because I felt that, some industries, and probably all industries, there's dog eat dog. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. And I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at that. So, it's just kind of like, okay, well, we're just gonna just let it be what it is.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, where did you immigrate from?
My parents immigrated from Haiti. So I'm Haitian American, first generation born here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to mention about who you are and what you do? I know you're very active in the community with the kids.
Yeah. So, I started a new position in January of last year as the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Edward M. Kennedy Community Health Center in Worcester. So we have locations in Worcester, Framingham, and Milford. Mm-hmm. They're growing very fast, and I think that that is my calling. That is where I'm meant to be. I love everything that I do. I love who I get to do it with, and I love the effect that I can have on change that is positive within the community center and within the community. So I work to be as active as I can with the kids in the school and the at the middle school now. My daughter's in the middle school and the high school. Yeah. And even next year when there'll be a gap because my son is graduating this year and my daughter's going to be in the 8th grade, I do still plan on being active with the high school because my daughter will be coming into the high school. Right. So even though there's no one there, I'll still be there. Right. So it's just important to me that my kids and, they have an opportunity for, for equity in the world. Right. And for all kids to have the opportunity to, learn how to interact with people who are different than them and how to be sensitive to the things that they say, the ways that they say them, the things that they do, and just understanding that just because somebody does something different, it's not weird or odd, it's different, right? And that's the main thing. It's not, there's understanding that it's different and that there's no normal, there's only typical, right? There's no, normal is not real. Typical, what is typically happening, what do people typically do is more to the norm of the society that we live in. So once we can start to do that, then we can start to see and be more sensitive to those with disabilities, those who are in the LGBTQI community, those who are of minoritized race, those who are those who have disabilities that are invisible. The more we can talk in terms of typical and different, then the better off we will be.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Well, this has been fascinating, and I want to thank you so much for coming on Harmonies.
Yeah,
and you. Throwing in the little journeys too with your background with the Kennedy Center. So again, thank you very, very much. And I hope to see you at the open mic, and I may push you to go to some more, and let's just have some fun with that, okay?
Let's have some fun. Thank you so much for having me, Denise.
Oh, you're very welcome. Okay. This is Denise Hurley. I want to thank everybody for coming on, well, watching Harmonies, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.